The first sound was not thunder, not fire, not even a roar. It was the sound of bones cracking under weight too great to bear, followed by a long, hollow breath that carried centuries of pain. The sky burned red as the dragon family's last heir crashed into the valley, and in that moment, every living soul felt the same instinct claw their chest. Step back, people ran. Warriors who had faced armies dropped their swords. Priests who preached courage hid behind stone. Kings who claimed divine blood retreated into shadows. The name of the dragon family was enough to break spines without a single flame being breathed. Everyone stepped back, except one human. His name was Arvin, and he had nothing left to lose. Arvin had been weak his whole life. Not weak in spirit, but in the way the world decided mattered. He was small, thin, his shoulders bent from years of carrying loads meant for stronger men. His father had died in a war that earned no songs. His mother followed soon after, taken by winter and hunger. Arvin survived because he learned to stay quiet, to stay unnoticed, to accept scraps and silence. He lived on the edge of the kingdom, where forgotten people gathered like dust. He had been called useless, cursed, broken. Even the gods, it seemed, had passed him by. So when the dragon fell, bleeding blackened fire into the earth, Arvin did not see a god. He saw himself. The dragon lay twisted among shattered stone, its vast body trembling. One wing was torn nearly in half, the membrane burned away by magic. Deep iron spears, glowing with runes, were buried in its scales, pinning it to the ground. Its roar was gone, replaced by ragged breaths and a low sound that felt too much like grief. Hunters surrounded it at a distance, their armor marked with royal sigils. Mages chanted softly, maintaining the curse that bound the creature. This was not a battle. It was an execution. Arvin felt his legs move before his mind agreed. Shouts followed him. Someone grabbed at his arm, but he shook free. Each step toward the dragon felt like walking into a storm. Fear screamed at him to stop, to turn back, to live. But he had lived in fear his whole life, and it had never saved him from pain. The dragon's remaining eye opened. It was not filled with hatred. It was filled with exhaustion. Arvin stopped only a few steps away. The heat from the dragon's body washed over him, smelling of smoke and blood. He could feel the curse pressing against his skin, cold and sharp, warning him to leave. He did not. "Why are you doing this?" he whispered, not sure who he was asking. The dragon's eye locked onto him, and suddenly Arvin was no longer standing in the valley. He saw skies filled with light, dragons flying not as conquerors, but as guardians. He saw treaties carved in stone, promises sworn between dragon and human kings. He saw betrayal written in ink and sealed with fear. He felt chains bite into ancient flesh. He felt the curse being woven, designed not to kill, but to break. Tears streamed down Arvin's face. The dragon had come to speak. The kings had chosen to silence. A horn sounded sharply. The commander of the royal guard raised his hand. "Move away," he shouted. "That creature will die." Arvin turned slowly. "So will the truth," he said, surprising himself with the steadiness of his voice. An arrow flew. The dragon moved faster than thought. Its massive head shifted, placing itself between Arvin and death. The arrow shattered against its scale. Others followed. Magic flared. Pain ripped through the dragon as it curled protectively around the human. Arvin was crushed against its chest, breath stolen, heart pounding. He felt the dragon's pain, like it was his own. The curse reacted violently, surging, burning through both of them. The mages began the final chant. This was the moment meant to end the legend. Arvin knew he would not survive it. He placed his hand against the dragon's heart, feeling the slow, powerful beat beneath ruined scales. "I don't matter," he whispered. "But you do." Something changed. The curse faltered, confused by a human who did not kneel, did not flee, did not hate. Arvin poured every memory into that touch. The nights he starved, the insults, the loneliness, the quiet hope that maybe somewhere he belonged. The dragon answered, not with fire, but with trust. The curse shattered. Light exploded outward, tearing through the valley like dawn, breaking a long night. The runes snapped, their magic unraveling. The mages screamed as the spell collapsed, exposing the lie at its core. The hunters dropped to their knees as the weight of truth crushed them. The dragon rose. Wounds began to close, not fully healed, but no longer fatal. Power rolled off it like heat from the sun. It did not roar. It did not burn. It looked at the humans, at the kings who hid, at the soldiers who obeyed, at the one human who stood trembling but unbroken. "You feared us," the dragon's voice echoed in every mind. "So you made us monsters." Its gaze softened as it looked down at Arvin. But fear is not the strongest bond. The dragon lifted its head to the sky, wings spreading wide. Wind tore through the valley as it prepared to leave. Before taking flight, it lowered its massive form and pressed its forehead gently against the ground before Arvin. A promise. When the dragon disappeared into the clouds, the world felt empty. The kings were exposed. The curse was gone. The lie could not be rebuilt. Arvin stood alone, clutching a single scale the dragon had left behind, warm and faintly glowing. People stared at him now, not with mockery, but with awe and confusion. He was still weak, still poor, still human, but he had stepped forward when it mattered. And the world would never forget that sometimes hope does not come from power or crowns or fire. Sometimes it comes from one broken human who refuses to step back.